don't know. Part of it, one says one way.
That's on the 16th.
Yeah, you see.
Let me, I'll fix it.
Like in the notes, it's right, but the
Time is wrong.
Yeah.
I'll fix it.
Okay, thank you.
Is it there?
Mhm.
So the book and stuff we're giving away, I don't think I have it. I ordered it.
Well, she's still out,
Yeah, I know.
so it's probably not even opened.
Yeah, I got the book. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Before we begin, we have a giveaway that will take place during our program today. To enter to win a copy of How to Manage Your Money When You Don't Have Any by Eric Wex and a budgeting planner, all you have to do is comment here in the comment section. And at the end, we'll do a random drawing of everyone who commented to see who gets to win a copy of the book. Also, if you happen to not win the giveaway but still would like a copy of the book, you can send an email to me, lmaiden@dcplibrary.org, and tell me you want a copy, and I'll send you an ebook version with instructions on how to read it on your computer. For my email address, it will be posted in the comments. So if you didn't get it the first time I said it, just look in the comment section and shoot me an email. For our virtual program next week, Foodborne Illness, the uninvited Thanksgiving guest, we will also be giving away a cutting board then, so be sure to tune in next week as well. Now, I would like to welcome Katie Alexander, the County Extension Agent for Family and Consumer Sciences for Daviess County, and she will be telling us about budgeting for the holidays. Katie transferred to Daviess County from Webster County this past March. She has been an agent for 15 years and has her bachelor's degree in dietetics and her master's in public health, both from Western Kentucky University. Thank you for joining us today, Katie.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, I think you need to unmute your microphone.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you not hear me?
Okay, I think it's me.
I'll say I unmuted.
It's a user error. It was me again. You're good. My volume was down.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we're good to go. Turning it over to you.
All right. Perfect. I will share my screen. Going. Okay. There we go. All right. Well, like she said, I'm Katie Alexander, Family and Consumer Science Agent for Daviess County. And today we're going to be talking about budgeting. We're going to go over some information just basically on basic budgeting. I'm not a financial advisor. We're here just as a resource with information, go over some helpful hints, hopefully, because I'm sure right now is when a lot of people start thinking about budgeting, because it's right before the holidays. We've gotten through Halloween, and now we're looking straight on to Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, Hanukkah, any holiday that you may be celebrating will be coming up. And a lot of those holidays have extra added expenses with them. And we always think they sneak up on us, but holidays come around every year. So we really need to budget all year long and not just think about budgeting, right now or right after the holidays when we get the sticker shock from looking at our credit card bills or bank statements. So we will just kind of touch on basic budgeting. Like I said, budget is basically a step-by-step plan for expenses in any given period of time. If you don't like the word budget, some people don't like to say they're on a budget. It's also called a personal spending plan. So either way you want to do it, they're both a step-by-step plan for your money. And let's go to the next one. Okay, so reasons why we should budget. Sometimes our personal money situation can feel overwhelming, especially if you owe more than what we can afford, and ignoring those circumstances is not going to make it go away. Actually, it could actually, make the stress worse, make the debt or whatever owed, can increase. So it's always important to be honest with yourself. Take a look at your financial situation. A written budget can really help. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, just paper and pen, writing out everything. We'll go through the steps of doing that. So no matter how little or how much money you have, it's always important to have a budget, because the money you earned is going to be spent whether you write it down or not. So at least if you write it down, you can kind of see where it's going and ways to maybe increase, your budget and to pay things if you're lacking in that right now. So, there are some ways up on the screen why you budget: to gain a sense of control. Like I said, to know where your money's going, reduce the stress. Sometimes when you have a plan, it can help that stress of just knowing you have this, money owed or bills you need to pay and things like that. Keeping track of your money so you don't overspend or get into more debt. Identify spending habits that drain your income. Those little things, keeping track of if you stopped at the gas station, your coffees in the morning and things like that. Those can really add up. So at least if you're keeping account of it, you can kind of know where it's going and ways that you could possibly help if you're needing to fix your budget. It can improve family communication. A lot of people don't want to talk about it, especially if you're not in the best financial situation. But keeping it hidden is not always the best idea. So having open communication so everybody's on the same page. And then, of course, build savings and work towards your long-term goals. So now we will go into avoiding budget pitfalls. Starting a budget. You can start small. You don't have to make drastic changes. Same thing with anything when you're starting a diet or trying to lose weight or your New Year's resolutions that a lot of people will be doing in January is to start small. Not eliminate something completely. Just like when you're on a diet and you're completely eliminating sweets, but you love sweets. If you eliminate it for a few days, you're going to end up really, really craving it and wanting it and giving into it usually. So just start small, do things that you can accomplish, and start strong and don't give up. An example is like if you get coffee every morning, at a local shop, say it's $3 a cup or whatever. If you do it 5 days a week, $15 a week is about $60 a month. And then if you just made one small change of going to 4 times a week or 3 times a week, you could basically cut that in half. So that's just an idea. And that's what we're just going to go over is just some tips and hopefully some ways to get you started to stick to it. And of course, the biggest pitfall or hurdle is just the failure to start. It looks like too big of a, project or something to do. You don't want to get started. Same thing with like an exercise program. You're going to start on Monday. Mondays are never good. Things like that. So just take the plunge and get started, like I said, with small steps that we'll go through. Like just writing down your budget is a good starting place. And so, of course, the first thing is identify your income, and that is the money you receive. And, of course, it has a breakdown of the wages. Like if your gross income is your gross wages is your total income, and then, of course, your net is your total minus your deductions if they take out taxes, retirement, anything like that. It's what you actually bring home that you have to work with. So just write all that down so you know what you've got to work with. If you have any other sources of income, write that down. And especially important now with COVID and everything going on, your finances may have changed. So it may be a good time to really look at what's going on. So you identify your income, and then, of course, you're going to want to identify your expenses. So your regular expenses, of course, those are things that you're going to have every single month. They're basically the same thing. Your fixed expenses are going to be about the same amount every single month. Your phone bill, the garbage bill, your house payment, rent, car, all that stuff is going to be the same, and it's going to occur every single month. So those are your fixed regular expenses. And then, of course, you have flexible expenses. Those can kind of change either with the season or the use of the service. The cost may change. And of course, right now, some of your cost may have changed, like with COVID. Like if you're home more, your water bill may be up more, or just being at home, your electric bill, you're home more, the lights are on, using the internet, things like that. I've noticed at our house, the dishwasher runs a lot more because we are home, eating at home, lunch at home. My husband is still home majority of the days. I'm back and forth. And then, of course, my change has been no night meetings, no out of town travel. So that's more meals where maybe it would have just been him. Now it's both of us home, all week. So just kind of take those things into account. And then your, like we talked, the expenses, the ones controlled by you, we already kind of mentioned that. But the ones you can control, you might take a look at to see if there's ways you can decrease it to save money, like on your electric bill, your water bill, small things like turning your thermostat down a degree or up a degree, depending on the season, can save you some money as well as, people say turn your water off, like while you're brushing your teeth, don't run the water in the sink, and things like that. All those can add up, and hopefully you can see some changes in your bills. And let's see, next is our occasional expenses, which is kind of what's going on right now. The holidays are coming up. They don't happen every month, so they're occasional, but they're going to come. So you always need a budget for them and be ready for them. The holidays, like I said, are not a surprise. Your car insurance, if you don't pay it monthly, if you pay it every 6 months, every year. School expenses, birthdays, membership dues. Make sure you write down when your membership dues come up, if they're every year, or subscriptions, when they come due. What month is that subscription going to come due? Especially if you have auto withdrawals, to be aware that it's going to automatically come out in this month, so it's not a surprise. Just being prepared, having that budget, knowing what's coming on is a big part of it. Because like I know I write down all our bills, write down the due date, what's got to be paid and how much, and then I mark it off once it's paid. But I'm a list person. I like to have a to-do list, mark it off, and kind of see that accomplishment of what's been done and then what I've got to tackle next. So it's always important to do that. Do that with your budget all year, and especially when it comes to holidays, to have a budget and to have a list. And then, of course, once you write down your income and your expenses and you subtract your expenses from your income, what's the results? Is your income greater than your expenses? If it is, that's great. But like I said, no matter the amount of money, it's always a good idea to have a budget. And then, of course, if your expenses are greater, then you have work to do, which is the majority of us. Honesty is important. Just be honest, look at your budget, write it down, and just start small and have a plan to start working at it. And of course, 2 ways to adjust that is you can either try to increase income or decrease your expenses, depending on your situation, depends on what you can do. A couple of tips down there. UK FCS does have a podcast. It's called Talking Facts, FACS, that you can search and listen to. And they've had some stuff on there about finances and they'll talk about other topics related to family consumer sciences as well. But if you're a podcast listener, you can do that. You can also check out on Facebook our UK Family Consumer Sciences extension page. And today we just had a budgeting video on there that was recorded, so it's on there, and some other information. So feel free to check that out as well. So ways to increase your income, and of course it just depends. Right now, the situations are different, especially with COVID and everything. But you could always work extra hours at your current job if that's doable. If you're hourly, if you're salary, like I could go in and go do 10 extra hours, but it's not going to increase my pay. So you can always request a promotion or a raise, which, like I said, right now, times are a little different. But sell some items that you no longer need. Get a second job if it's available, if it's doable with your schedule and everything. You still got to take care of your family. But those are just some ideas. And then, of course, decreasing expenses may be a little bit easier if you can look at things you have. Like we mentioned, saving on utilities, eliminating or scale back on wants, like entertainment, phone, internet, things like that, which right now everybody needs internet with how we're functioning. But do things for yourself rather than hiring people to do it. If you can, like right now, this past summer, if you had someone mowing your yard, if you already owned a mower and can physically able to do it, that would be, an expense you could cut. Now, if you did not own a mower and you'd have to go out and buy one, obviously that's a bigger expense than paying someone to mow it. So you got to, do what's best, what makes most sense. Using coupons is a big one too, especially for any shopping, for holiday shopping, for your grocery shopping. You could have a whole program on couponing and apps and money back and things like that. Buying online, there are some apps that will give you money back, like 2%, 3%, back if you're already making that purchase, online anyways. Then getting some cash back is always beneficial. Some of them will send you a check like every 3 months or something for whether it was $5, $50, whatever you saved. And a lot of them will double their percentage back right now during the holidays as well. And then, of course, apps for stores. Digital coupons are big now. Instead of taking the paper coupons, you have digital coupons, checking out the sales, stuff like that. And right now, with having Thanksgiving, you're having big meals. If you have leftovers, you can freeze those safely and then kind of work that into your menu plan and your grocery budget in the next couple of weeks. So maybe you could cut back a little bit where maybe you overspent, in these coming weeks preparing for such a big meal. So, you can take all that into account. And then, of course, depending on where you are and your job, you could drive less to save on gas, keep your vehicle well maintained. You could cut back on restaurants, pack a lunch instead of eating out every time, order water instead of soda. That's a simple $2 to $3 savings right there. That would be easy to do, and you would hardly even miss it. And then, of course, limit credit card use. If you tend to spend cash when you have it, limit how much cash you carry. If you don't, if you have it and you tend to hold on to it, maybe, carry a little bit more instead of swiping your card, because it's always really easy to swipe that card without thinking about it. Not shopping for fun or buying on impulse, which is something with all the apps out there like Amazon. I have the Amazon app on my phone. I'll get on there and look, move something to my cart, but then you can always save it for later. So you don't lose it. It's just not sitting there on your cart. Or you can just leave it and you'll get notifications like if the price goes down. Or you can go back and look at it the next day and be like, why did I want this? Do I really need it? And you kind of have that, you've thought it through. You don't need it. You can delete it from your cart. And you haven't made that impulse buy. So that's always, a good thing to try to do if you tend to shop a lot online, especially with the apps. And then, of course, comparison shop for the best deals. Pay off loans with the highest interest rates. That will save you some money. And then, of course, paying bills on time to avoid those late fees and the finance charges. And if you tend to do that, like if you just happen to you miss a bill because you don't have it written down, or you just forgot it, and then you've got a $30 or $40 fee on that bill for the next month. Just making a note in your calendar, put reminders in your phones, making that list of your bills with the due dates. So that way you don't forget and you can get it paid on time. That can save you some money too. And then, of course, you can always contact your like credit cards and your other, bills. Like if the due date is just at a bad time in the month, you just don't have the money. Say you get paid bi-weekly and something is due, you've got too much due at the beginning of the month, call them. They'll work with you. See if you can move your due date to later in the month where maybe you get that, the second bi-weekly check, and you can pay it out of that to kind of ease the burden from the first of the month. So, doing those things can help. Let's see. And of course, with the holidays, you can save money by if you reuse your gift bags, or maybe don't go out and buy the new, wrap paper, ribbons. People have used newspaper. They've used just plain paper and then drawn on it and written names on it. Little things like that can save money on those little things that add up as far as wrapping paper, ribbons, and name tags and all that. And then, of course, tracking purchases so you can find your spending leaks. And that can be, just little things, stopping at the gas station to pick up something. Those can all kind of add up. And if you tend to do that, you might just kind of keep those receipts for a week or two or a month or whatever and add them up and kind of see where all your money is really going. Just being a little more aware can help you identify those. And some budgeting tools. Of course, y'all probably heard of the expense envelope system. This is a very disciplined. You got to be pretty strict with the envelope system, but you basically put cash in each envelope. It's designated for certain bills, and then when it's gone, when that money's gone out of that envelope, that's it. You don't transfer money in and out of envelopes. That's your limit, and it's a pretty disciplined system, but does work. You can also, the timing worksheet calendar, having a calendar, keeping things written out can help you keep control of it. And like I mentioned, calling to change your due dates and things like that. You can do it to kind of help with your payment so you're not paying late. And Apps can help you keep track of spending. There's all kinds of apps now, apps to save money, apps to track your spending, apps for every store imaginable. So if you are a digital person and you like having apps, you could find one that works for you to help you track your spending. And then, of course, Money Habitudes is actually a program that UK has. It's online that you can do. You can email me if you're interested. My email address is there. You email me, and I can give you a code and a link. And it's basically a game. It's how you look at money. It's your habits and your attitude towards your spending of money or saving, whether you're a saver, you're a spender, you're, a giver. Whatever it is, it's real quick. You put that in, you answer questions, it'll say like, do you tend to buy, name brand items? And you just click, that's me all the time. That's not me. Or sometimes you just quickly, your first instinct, and there's no right or wrong, answer a few of those and it'll give you, kind of a feedback on your habits and your attitude towards money and some ways, some positive and negatives and things you can do to help with that. So it's a really interesting game. It is available online. We do have the cards at the office, but now that we're doing everything virtually, they've made it where we can do it online. And I don't see your results. We will get an email address just so we can send like a follow-up survey that won't take you but a couple of minutes, to fill out. But I don't see your results. Nobody sees your results but you. So that's just something you can do, especially right now if you're just kind of getting started thinking about budgeting. It's a real eye-opener, to do that. Okay, and then of course, once you've done it, you just repeat. You review your budget. You can reward achievements if you can afford to reward them. Don't do anything expensive or overly, way out of your budget. But do, kind of give some positive reinforcements for sticking to it and doing well. And right now, of course, with COVID, there is some emergency financial assistance. You can go to consumerfinance.gov and there'll be information on there as far as, creditors that are doing, delayed payments or forbearance or, waiving fees and things like that. So that is something you can check into. And of course, then, like I mentioned before, holidays, birthdays, they're not unexpected. They happen every year. They always tend to sneak up on us, but we just got a budget for it. And by writing it down, every month, if like October, I've got 2 or 3 birthdays in that month, I'll write them down. So I know, I'm budgeting to get them the small gift card, something. So make a list, make your budget, include everything, your gifts, travel, food, decoration, anything you can think of that's going to come up that you're going to have to spend money on. We've also got a program that you can participate in right now. It's called Holidays at Home Use Less, Spend Wise Challenge. There's information on our Facebook page about this, but then we've also got a little packet here that you can pick up at our extension office. I've also given a few to Lisa, so if you want to come by the library and pick it up, it's free to do. You just pick up the program, pick up the packet, go online, register, complete 6 activities that are in there. They're all about using less, spending wisely, and things like that. And then you complete the exit survey by November 19th, which is National Use Less Day. And the first 200 participants get a prize from UK FCS Extension. So it doesn't cost you anything. And this could be a good starting point. If you're just starting looking at a budget and looking at your finances and stuff, this is a good way to get started. And let's see what else. And it may be a good way to also to kind of start to get the communication open with your family about your finances as well. It's stuff you can do together to kind of be aware of where you can save money and just a good kickstart, especially right now, right before the holidays, to do that. So, of course, you just want to keep your expectations realistic, do what you can, simplify this season. It's been difficult anyways. Spending time is really important with your family. It's not about money and the gifts. Just try doing activities together, whether it's in person or over Zoom. Whatever you can do, just be intentional about having fun and spending that time and enjoying your family and friends during this season and all year. So that was kind of a quick run through of just some basic budgeting tips. If you have any questions or need anything else, feel free to reach out. My information is on there, email, phone number. You can check out our Facebook page, Daviess County Extension, as well as the UK Family Consumer Sciences Extension Facebook page as well. So I think that's it. And I'm excited about the book you're giving away as well. I've ordered it myself, so I'm excited to read it. Any tip, anything you can use that will help you, with budgeting financially, it's great.
Thank you so much, Katie. Yeah, we've actually looked through this book a little bit, and it seems really cool. Our winner for today will be Denise McCarty. So you can come into the library, just come to the second floor information desk, and we will be happy to give you the book and the planner. Everyone else, send me an email. It's in the comments section, and I'll be happy to share the digital version, the ebook, with you on instruction and give you instructions on how to read it on your device. Katie, I did have a question for you. What would you consider your favorite money saving app to be? Like, I know a lot of people that shop online use Honey, and I've used that before, but do you have any that you would personally recommend? I think we may have lost Katie. So thank everybody for joining us today. And please send me some emails. I'm happy to shoot you the ebook for you, free to peruse. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and Katie can get on there and answer them for you. So I hope everybody has a great day, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you. And please send me some emails. I'm happy to shoot you the ebook for you to peruse. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments, and Katie can